Hi. Well, it's been a really beautiful day today, and I was just going through some posts today, and I was just reading on a page that I was reading that I support, and it was just basically about someone talking about whatever it is that they're going to experience in relation to their parents. And it kind of caught my eye because I've been thinking about it all for the last couple of hours about my own experience as a child when my mother was going through domestic violence. And I mean violence, physical violence. I'm not just talking about emotional, psychological, financial. She went through the whole lot. But this particular one sticks in my mind so much because even I was part of it. When I say part of it, I mean my father one day came from work, and my mother and father at that time, they were divorced. They were living their separate lives. But you know what the perpetrator is like. He never wants to let go of his victims. He feels that he wants to continue exercising power and control. And so all of a sudden, out of the blues, my dad decided to ask me the question, do you want to go and see your mother? Do you want to go live with your mother? And the moment I said yes, within the next minute, I don't know what happened. I just remember finding myself in the corner of a cupboard somewhere. It was like I had blacked out and then woken up. I was on the floor, lying next to a cupboard. And when I got up, my dad was shouting, do you want to go and live with your mother? And I was shivering, shaking, confused why he had punched me, slapped me so hard that I blacked out for a split second, flew across the room with that one powerful slap and punch. The next moment, he gathered all of us up, me and my siblings, and put us in the car and drove to where my mother was living. And when we got out of the car, my mother, it was late at night, she was in her bedclothes. She came out and she asked, what was going on. And my father all of a sudden started saying, you want to show off, you want to show off. And the next thing is his fists were raining on top of my mother, raining at her, and she was screaming out for help, screaming out to her cousin who was in the house for help. The next thing I knew, my mother was on the ground and he kicked her face in. He kicked her face in. She had no nose. She was unconscious, knocked out. My brother, on the other hand, the youngest, was screaming in the back of the car, and I was screaming for help. We were only little. We were totally helpless. And when I think of that, I'm telling you, the last few hours I've been bawling my eyes out. I've been crying so much because I didn't realize that I buried it so far deep in my heart. It just made me cry. And I know I've been one who's always been advocating for forgiveness and letting go. Because up until to this day, my father is still manipulative in his old age as he is now. And all of us as children have managed to keep our distance. And the moment he becomes manipulative, we just shut down and stay away. And we only keep in touch because you know, the Bible tells us to honor our parents, our mother and father, so that our days can be extended here on earth. That's the only reason. I mean, I'm a born-again Christian, so that's why I am aiming to forgive and to let go. But this one, I don't want to lie, it's not like I haven't forgiven, but I want to say something. When you have forgiven, when you have let go, and you remember the incident and you cannot feel any pain anymore, that is when you know that you know that you know that you know that God has healed you, that you are healed and you're over this ordeal. Sorry, just forgive the noise of the cars down the road there. But you know that you've forgiven, you know that you've let go, you know that it's over, you're done. And for me to feel this way, for me to come on here and talk about it and talk about the pain that arose in my heart, I know I have been forgiven. And I so desperately want to put that all in the past and to let it go. And I'm on that journey. I'm on that journey of letting go. I'm on that journey of forgiving. I'm on that journey of putting all of that in the past. So I just want to encourage you out there. As children, when we see our parents go through domestic violence, or when you're in a family that is full of violence, full of abuse, it really does affect the children. It really affects the children so much. And they can grow up to be weird characters. Children with depression, with anger, they become dysfunctional in school, problem children, you know, and even into their adulthood. But I want to say one thing, that as an adult that has grown up in a family of dysfunction and domestic violence and abuse, you can make that decision. You can decide that, no, I won't treat my children this way. I will not subject my children to going through this type of thing. And which means that you have to make a conscious decision of constantly checking on yourself, making sure you're not that type of person, making sure that you make that conscious effort of loving your children, having that relationship with your children. It may be difficult because that is all that you've known, violence and abuse, but you can make that decision to say that, not me, I will not treat my children this way. And so I just want to encourage someone out there that you'll be fine. Just work on making that decision and going on that journey of letting go and being healed and forgetting the past. And if the perpetrator is still alive, and when I say perpetrator, I mean your parent or parents, if they're still alive, or if she's still alive, or if he's still alive, keep your distance. You don't have to be in their space, and you don't have to bring them into your space. You can love them from a distance. And so I think that's it. I'm on a journey and I'm going to get there. I'm going to overcome this thing. I'm going to beat it. That's me.